Okay, well, I've been rambling on. It's a minute past 8. So this morning we're going to do the self-care meditation as we usually do on the Wednesday. And I just want to say a few things about selfishness before we start. So we have this English word selfish, don't we? And it's not about self-care, is it? When we talk about somebody being selfish or ourselves being selfish, we're talking about self-centeredness, about lack of attention to others, lack of connection with others. And there isn't actually an English word for taking care of ourselves, for self-care. People tend to think of selfish. And selfish kind of puts us off looking after ourselves. So a number of times that I've heard people say, well, if I concentrate on myself, that's selfish. If I do things that I like, that's selfish. And we live in a culture where we are expected, many people in our culture anyway, are expected to look after other people to the detriment of themselves. And that's not good. That's not good at all. We cannot look after other people. We cannot love other people, be kind to other people fully unless we are kind and loving and taking care of ourselves before that. So this self-care is really, really important. Self-care, if we can look after ourselves, if we can become whole people, if we have good positive regard for ourselves, then that means that we are in a different place. We're not likely to react against other people. We're more likely to fully see other people. We're more likely to connect with other people. So of course we want to look after others. We want to do our best for our fellow human beings in the world. But that process starts with ourselves. And I think that's really, really important. So this meditation this morning is all about that. It's all about just looking after ourselves, coming to terms with who we are, being nice to ourselves, looking after ourselves. So welcome to Sarah and Lyndall, who've just joined us. And we'll begin, I think, without any more ado. So we can start with some deep breaths, just to relax, if you wish. Breathing all the way in, filling the lungs, pausing for a few seconds, and then breathing all the way out, emptying the lungs. And doing that 3 or 4 times. And as you do that, you might notice that when you breathe out, that long out breath, the body just automatically relaxes. It's quite natural to relax on the out breath. So just continuing to notice the breath and this relaxing on the out breath. Relaxing on each out breath, not making any effort to change the out breath, just letting the breath go as it wishes. And as you relax on each out breath, just noticing the sensations in the body. The breath relaxes the body. Bringing your awareness to the face, forehead, just relaxing the forehead, letting any creases drop out, letting the skin on the face sag, so that the whole of the face is relaxed. You maybe find that your forehead creases up again. Just let it go. Relaxing the whole body. Bringing attention to the chest area, rising and falling as we breathe. And just noticing the sensations of the breath in the lungs and the throat, the movement. Very, very rich and enjoyable. We relax into it. Allowing yourself to become absorbed with this movement and sensation in the upper chest. Just letting any thoughts go as soon as they arise. But not worrying about being distracted by thoughts, just keeping on coming back to this movement and sensation in the chest. So if we move our awareness now down to the bottom of the rib cage in the middle, this is where we find, just behind the rib cage, we find the heart center, the chitta. Is the base of all our positive emotions, the place where we feel love and affection. So just try bringing somebody to mind that you really love, somebody who you really care about, a person or an animal. Just notice what might happen in this heart center. Or in some cases elsewhere in the body. This warm, benevolent feeling of care and love, connection. So we find it quite easy to have this sense of love and connection with other people. But what we're trying to do in this meditation is to cultivate this love and affection, this warm feeling in our heart center. We're trying to cultivate it in connection with ourselves. Quite a radical thought, isn't it? Can we really love ourselves in this way as well? So in the first stage, we're just reflecting on the way we are. The way we are, just normally, day in, day out. Perhaps the way that we sometimes are pleased with ourselves, and sometimes the way that we abuse ourselves in our minds, or criticize, or feel that we're not good enough. Times when we feel okay, and times when we really don't like ourselves that much. This could be in any number of circumstances. We may have done something embarrassing. We may have failed at something. We may have succeeded at something and feel good. We might receive praise, and that makes us feel happy. We like to be approved. And then sometimes we're disapproved of, and that hurts. So this has been going on for the whole of our lives. And some of this disapproval and embarrassment and not feeling up to it rubs off. And we carry that around with us. Carry it around, using it to judge ourselves, using it to colour our particular idea of ourselves. And this isn't just me or you, this is the whole of the human race. So how sad is that? For all of us, just tender, fragile human beings, doing our best in a difficult world. Sometimes doing well, sometimes making mistakes. Sometimes doing silly things, reacting, getting angry, getting upset. Can we just have some compassion for ourselves? Can we notice that we're doing our best? We're always doing our best. And when things go wrong or we don't feel so good about ourselves, can we just step back with some compassion? So one way of doing this, one way of stepping back and having compassion, showing compassion to ourselves, being kind to ourselves, valuing ourselves, is by being our own best friend. We get caught up in thought patterns, negative ideas about ourselves in our minds. But if we can come back into awareness, we can step away from the chattering mind. We can find a sense that is a sense of observation that is free of negative ideas. We can bring a sense of awareness to our state of mind, to our critical, negative mind, and we can see it for what it is. Stepping back into awareness, we can be our own best friend. And we don't have to do this in a very thought out way. We can just be there for ourselves. There's a part of us that knows this. Part of us that is always there waiting to support us. When times get hard, can we be our own best friend? Can we support ourselves, look after ourselves, reassure ourselves? And in the next stage, we're going to just reflect on the part of us that feels vulnerable, that feels maybe not good enough, not quite up to it sometimes. Part of us that is frightened or unsure. And we might imagine this part of us as a small child that's feeling a bit out of it. Small child that's surrounded by seemingly confident adults who seem to know what they're doing, who seem to be confident. In fact, all these adults that are seemingly so confident also have a small child. So can we look after this small child within us? This small, fearful being that is part of us. Can we help it, support it, look after it, reassure it? Can we be a real friend to our small inner child? Can we help it to grow and flourish and feel more confident? Our small child reacts, can we give him or her lots of love and care and attention, just as we would any small child. And in the fourth stage of this meditation, we're going to make contact or reflect on the part of us that constantly criticizes what we do. Our inner critic is always there telling us that we could have done that better, that people will have various ideas about us, people will think we're silly, people will think we're not very good. Lots and lots of stories come from the inner critic. And the inner critic can sound very harsh, always criticizing. In fact, this inner critic is pretty much like the small child, feeling very lacking confidence. This inner critic is really scared about not fitting in the world, about being different, as if there's something wrong with being different. This inner critic of ours is terrified of being rejected. And that's why our inner critic is constantly being critical. And actually, all our inner critic needs is love and care and reassurance. And if we can do that, if we can give our inner critic this reassurance and love and kindness, it will begin to fall silent. So can we take care of our inner critic, who means well, who wants the best for us, but is slightly deluded in the way it acts? Can we give lots of love and reassurance to our inner critic? Tell it that it's okay, things are fine, we don't have to be perfect. And finally, we come back to the whole of ourselves, this precious human being that is ourselves, doing our best in the world, finding it joyful sometimes, and sometimes finding it much harder. So can we look after ourselves? Can we somehow be our own best friend, being there for ourselves when we need reassurance and support? Can we hold the hand of our inner child and reassure him or her that it's okay, we are good enough, we're just fine as we are, we don't need to be any different. Can we snuggle up to our inner child and reassure it, help him or her to feel okay and to grow? And finally, can we have a kindly attitude to our inner critic, realizing that this part of us too also feels scared and wants the best for us? Can we reassure our inner critic that everything is fine? We don't have to be perfect. We're fine just as we are. So can we have a sense of care and love towards ourselves? Patience when things go wrong, joy when things go right. And can we maybe understand that every other human being is pretty much like we are in these respects? So can we have a sense of connection to other people, strangers even, who have many of the same ideas about themselves as we do? We feel this connection with every other human being, even if they don't show it. We can still be aware that they too have much the same experience as we do. So having a real sense of compassion and care towards ourselves, and allowing that to spread to every other human being that we might meet. So we're going to end the meditation now, but what I would suggest is that if you can, you try and remember what we've meditated on this morning during the day, so that when the need arises, you can call on your own best friend. You can look after your inner child, and you can soothe your inner critic. And just notice what a difference that can make. Well, I hope that was good for you, useful. It was quite funny actually when I was doing it. I could sense my own inner critic going, "Well, this isn't as good as the last time you did it," or "You've done it differently this time. I don't think that's as good." So this inner critic is all of these things that affect us. They're so deep, aren't they? And all we can do is just have a sense of kindness towards them, and maybe a little bit of we can laugh at them a little bit. It's just a human trait. So I hope that was useful. Just to say that good news, a week on Thursday, week tomorrow, we open our little shop at the York Buddhist Centre from 1:30 to 5 o'clock, and it'll be open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 1 o'clock to 1:30, and lots of lovely little goodies in there. Meditation stuff, yoga stuff, lots of lovely candle holders and gifts, and some shawls and singing bowls, incense, lots and lots of incense. So come and have a look. Come and have a look and see what you think. And come and have a chat with us as well. That'd be really nice. If you're in York. If you're not in York, don't travel all the way from London or the South Coast. We can if you want. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for coming today. And I'll be back again tomorrow with mindfulness of breathing. And have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Remember to love yourselves for whatever you do, whatever kind of day you have. Just be there for yourself. It's really important that we're kind to ourselves and don't beat ourselves up. We're just doing our best all the time. So lots of love to you, and hopefully see you again tomorrow. Goodbye for now.